In preparing for today's episode of Life's Potluck Buffet, I discovered a piece of sheet music that doesn't seem to have a recording on the internet. So this is kind of the opposite of the most mysterious song on the internet, because we know the author, we have the music in terms of sheet music form, we know when it was published, where it was published, but there is no recording of this song on the internet. So I'm going to talk about that today on Life's Potluck Buffet and a little bit behind the name of the song. And as always, we'll ask the cards to sing us a sweet song about our work and lives. I'm John Paulus. You're listening to Life's Potluck Buffet only on YouTube. If you've been enjoying Life's Potluck Buffet, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. If you have a Brave browser, you can now contribute basic attention tokens to Life's Potluck Buffet with John Paulus on YouTube. Thank you for your support, and thank you for listening. This all started innocently enough. I was wondering about polka dots. Well, what was the reason that we call polka dots polka dots? And when did we start calling polka dots? And did they have anything to do with the polka, which they seem to be named after? Well, that began a journey that ended in a discovery. And what I discovered was that there's a song out there that is not available to hear on the internet, but it's available to, the sheet music is available. It's both on Google Books and the Library of Congress's website, and it is from 1873. And that song is called the Polka Dot Waltz, and it's dedicated to the mysteriously named IOPD. Is that something like the International Order of Polka Dots, or the International Order of Polka Dancers, or the Independent Ostrich Party Department? I don't know. But I looked up to see if at this period in the 1870s, if I could find the International Order of whatever, or whatever the IOPD stood for. I don't think it's a police department of any type, but I think it's probably some sort of group that has some connection to dance parties or dances or some sort of celebratory thing, because it just makes sense. I found out that the person who wrote it, whose name is Edward A. Abel, I think it's Abel, it's Abell. So a lot of people in the United States who have that name pronounce it Abel. I don't know if there's anybody who pronounces it Abel, but Edward A. Abel was the composer of the Polka Dot Waltz. And the sheet music was published by a music publisher in San Francisco and also one in Portland, Oregon. But there's not a lot to be found out about the IOPD. Now, there may be a connection between this Edward A. Abel and an Edward A. Abel that was a student at the recently founded University of California, which is located in Berkeley, California. And if that is the case, maybe the IOPD is some sort of group that is student related. But I can't be for sure. So let's just leave it at that. We don't know what this mysterious IOPD is, the most mysterious group on the internet in the 1870s. So that is the song. It doesn't have words. It's just music. It's a dance piece. It's a waltz, so it's in 3/4 time. But that's chip chip boom chip chip boom chip chip. That's 3/4 time. The polka, however, itself is a 2/4 time dance form. And here's the thing: no one has recorded this song that I can find. I have not been able to find one single recording of it online, certainly not on YouTube. There are 2 videos on YouTube that talk about being a polka dot waltz, but just listening to it and looking at the sheet music, this isn't the same piece of music. So That's something to keep in mind. So to do the original Polka Dot Waltz, to have a recording of that, that would be a dream. And so this is kind of a little bit of a challenge for anybody out there who's listening, who is musically inclined, plays any instrument, does any, is the conductor of an orchestra, plays piano, is an organist, is a anything, has a small chamber music ensemble, has a band, a jazz band, a rock band. Recording the Polka Dot Waltz would be excellent. So if you're out there and you're listening to this and you like to record and upload your music to the internet, I am going to put for you in the description the sheet music, both the Library of Congress and the Google Books sheet music for the Polka Dot Waltz. Please feel free to upload a recording and let me know in the comments, because this is a little bit of a polka dot challenge to see if we can get some versions of the Polka Dot Waltz on the internet. And then we can all cross off the Polka Dot Waltz from our list of songs that have not been digitally recorded and preserved for posterity. Okay, so that is the Polka Dot Waltz. Please, if you are a musician, please do your version of it. I would love to hear it. And I would love to hear what people do with the Polka Dot Waltz. It's okay. I played a little bit of it on just the online keyboard before the episode today, before I recorded the episode today, and it's the melody line is nice enough. So do record. I would really love to hear some recordings of this. In fact, we can make a thing about it, in terms of like what people can do. A jazz version would be great. Electronic dance music version would be great, I think. If you could sample it, or, anything, a classical version or a chamber music version or a polka band version of the waltz would be ideal, I think. So give that a shot and let me know in the comments. Put a link to your recording, and we'll get going on that. Okay, so what does this have to do with polka dots? Now, besides the name, of course. As it turns out, and this is what the Oxford English Dictionary believes about this and has looked into, and I'm inclined to agree with this. In the mid-19th century, there was a big polka dance craze in the world. And so a lot of things for marketing purposes, for 19th century marketing purposes, got named polka this and polka that. So there were polka hats and a dress known as a polka pelisse. That's one of the earliest mentions we have of it. And the polka pelisse, I don't know if this polka pelisse had a dot pattern on the material, because there is polka gauze also mentioned, so gauze fabric. So there's the idea that polka was associated with various articles of dress and fabric suggests to me that there's some connection here, as OED suggests. And also, there's the polka hat, which I found a German definition for it, that it's a felt hat with a low crown, the part where your head goes in, like that part was very it was low. It wasn't like a tall hat. So that is the polka. It doesn't suggest that there are any dots on it. So it's not that the polka has to do with a particular dot thing. It has to do with the fact that the polka was a dance craze at the time. And now, as for the meaning of polka, there's a couple of derivations of that. Some say it's related. So the polka, the dance itself, is probably from Bohemia, which is in the Czech Republic today, largely. And the idea is that this is a Czech word for Polish woman. And that is generally accepted as the derivation of the name polka for a dance. But there are certain music scholars who are from Central Europe and know these languages that are involved and think that maybe it had to do with a interpretation of the Czech word for a half step, or because it's a 2/4 time dance. So the halftime dance, the Czech words for half sound similar to this, and then maybe this was a corruption of those words, or a version of those words, a dialectical version of those words. So that's an interesting possibility for another etymology of the word polka. But in general, the interpretation of polka is coming from Polish woman is generally accepted. So we'll leave it there. And let's ask the cards for a dance. Cards, shall we? Yellow lemons, blue dumplings, magenta noodles. Cards, tell us some things. Oh, wow. It's the bull wild card. That was the one that I took out of the deck the other day. And so the cards probably were really angry about that. I remember because I wanted to have 54 cards in the deck, and so I had to remove card 55, which is the wild card with a bowl on it. So here's what to do today. Before you record your version of the Polka Dot Waltz, think about a bowl that's empty, and then think about what you'd like to have in that bowl. It can be anything. It doesn't need to be sensible. Whatever the thing that comes to mind is. And think about what that means and how you're going to get it and who or what can make it appear. So think about that today, and I will see you tomorrow on Life's Potluck Buffet.